Thank you for visiting our channel. Today I came out to review and also quick unbox this awesome Android box. Yes, another Android box. And I have to mention that this is called K3 Pro and is done by a company called We2USat. And this is really cool box if you are going to watch this on YouTube friendly version. And then for full version will be available on our website. Links going to be available in the bottom. And I do not want to forget, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, click the subscribe button. Make sure you share this with your friends and family. Make sure you click the notification icon. Select all in order to get notified once we have a new video out. On top of that, if you have a question, drop them at the bottom of the video. We love to help you out ASAP. And don't forget to click the like button. It really motivates us to make these type of videos quickly with a little more detail every time. And here are all the components that are part of the box. It comes with this user manual, which is very small, and it just talks about what you're going to be able to connect. If you go to the back, it says chapter 1, and it tells you exactly what is going to be involved in it, how you can be able to use it. And on top of that, when you go to the next page, it says how you will be able to connect it to your TV, basic startup, and then the wizard program. And there's also a troubleshooting steps there, and get the best performance out of this box is there. And that's about it. It also comes with an HDMI cable and also a power adapter. You can see the connector to go to the box is a little bit smaller than the other ones, but when you look over here, this is 5-volt 2 amps created for Canada and United States, and there are some other places that will use the same type of connector. Now it also comes with this awesome remote. Now this remote is inside of a plastic, so it doesn't get scratched up that fast, but once you open it, this is how it really looks. I really like the design. They have everything written in the back. You can open the back because you can put 2 AAA batteries, and you can see that sometimes it is very hard to open, but for the meantime, you can see the top. You have all the buttons that you need. You can also program your TV to it with the volume down, volume up, and then also the source button. And how you will be able to process it is in the back. When you go back in the front, you have the static mouse button on the top. Then you also have the numeric buttons, menu button, return, the full navigation key with the OK in the middle. Also, you have the EPG button, info button, home, and then subtitles, audio button. You have a mic button. I do not know if that's going to work or this is Bluetooth. We will test it out. And when you look in the bottom, you do have volume up and channel up. You have all the color buttons and then some premium buttons that are set up, so it automatically launches that app for you, and then their name on the bottom. I really like that little design that they have done. When you go to the front, you have the IR sensor part, and then in the back it talks about how you will be able to program your volume, source, and the rest in the back. And that's about it. I wanted to mention something opening the battery part. You can see that I tried X-Acto knife and everything, and I kind of ruined this part of the remote. But how easy it is to open this. Flip it on the side and you have a little spot right over here. You have to click open and that's it. Because when I was looking, there's no way for it to go on the right side, and I was pushing it. And you can see that how easy it is to open. Now the box itself, sitting inside of a little plastic, and once you take it out, this is how the box looks. I really like this design, how they have placed it together. Now it does remind me of one of the other boxes that is been sold heavily, but this looks awesome because they have taken out some of the little iconic places to make it unique. But this is cool. You can see their name in the front and also their model number. When you look on the top, you have your name. That little design of how it looks, it is plastic, but it looks like a carbon fiber on the side. When you go to the front part, the IR sensor, everything will be here, and once you turn it on, it should have a little blue light. When you go to the side of it, you have a TF card reader. You have 2 USB 2.0 ports. When you go to the back, you have a LAN connection, AV port, which you can connect to older type of TV, and I do not believe it's going to work. And also the extension is not part of it. Optical audio connection for your stereo system. Also you have the HDMI out, and then your power, which just says 5-volt 2 amp, just in case if you ever misplace your power. When you go to the other side, there's nothing here, but when you go to the bottom, you have a lot of holes for ventilation, I really like these little rubber legs that they have placed. So when you put it on the actual table and something is very heavy, you can see that it's very, very hard to move it back and forth, which I really like. So that way your box does not move. And what else I like is if you want to connect it at the back of your TV or on the wall, you have a little spot for the screw, and then you're going to be able to connect it nicely on the wall. You do have a little sticker for your MAC address and serial number, which mine is blocked. And that's about it. Let's get this connected. And for CEC purposes, we will connect the HDMI first and then the power. And now you can see there's a little light right over here, and then it says booting, and it will change to a time. And this is how you know the box is booting up or it's on. So as soon as it turns on, this is the screen you should see. And yes, it will have a little animation. And now to pair the remote with the actual box, you have to grab your remote and then make sure that it works. So you can check it. There you go. The both lights are blinking. And then you have to press the OK button. And you can see that it is volume down, which is right over here. And then press the OK button together. So that's what we're going to do. And there you go. Now, as soon as it blinks, it says successful and we're set up. Now we can go through and set up our box. And here is the main page. Now remember that I have already set this up in order to process it. So that's why you see everything is already in it. Now, this is the main page, that how it really looks. And if I have to go on the top, there is a weather widget, and you go to the right side, it shows that I am connected via LAN connection. There is a USB that I have connected to this for testing, and then the date and time. Now that's not correct, by the way. And then when you go down, you have the actual brand name really printed, and then at the bottom you have these icons. I really like it because it kind of reminds me that I am playing with something like Apple TV, because it's so cool. It's huge icons. So here you go. These are the main apps that are part of it. And then once you scroll down, you will be able to see the other apps that are preloaded to it. Something like Netflix, Disney Plus, or Prime TV, which is already have a shortcut, as I already showed on the remote itself. But remember that you need to get subscription from something like disneyplus.com or netflix.com, or for Prime you can go to amazon.com to get it. Now it depends to your country if you have access or not, but you do need to get a subscription for them. Now going next is going to be settings and then system settings. So yes, you will be able to see two settings in this. Yes, you will be able to mirrorcast, and there are more information inside of it. So we will take care of these one by one to show you what's involved in this, and then we can explain to you. Alright, let's do some benchmarking, and for that we're going to start going into YouTube. When you start playing certain videos, you can see the quality automatically goes into 4K. Sometimes as an auto it plays it as 1080p. So I did change it to 4K, and you can see that it's nice and smooth. It just plays it really cool. Now let's go a little bit geeky inside and check to see how it is. I am capturing it as 1080p, and then it says 0 frame drop. The optimal rate is as 4K but 30 frames per second. And then if you look down under codecs, it's using VP9 and OPUS. The color saturation is really nicely done, so there is no problem. And you can see it still doesn't have any frame drops. So it plays YouTube really smoothly, very nicely. The next thing we will go to will be Geekbench 5. Now I have already processed, and as you can see, my single core is 104 and my multi-core is 295, which is a really good number running on OS 10 on this box itself. Now the next thing I want to go to will be AIDA64. Now for AIDA64, I want to mention that brings you a lot of information as raw. I really like that, but there are certain things would not communicate with something like PCBA, or in this called the motherboard. So I want to just bring it up and show you guys. So something like under system, as you can see, the manufacturer is correctly written. And then under model, it says it K3 Pro, which is good. Now going down, you can see that it is 4 GB of RAM. How much has been total? how much is available, which is half of it. And then the internal storage is 32 gigabyte, and you can see how much has been used. And then we also installed some apps, and it's also going to be divided in a few little pieces like recovery and all, so that's why it's going to be a little bit less, but it's all there. One thing I noticed that the Bluetooth on this always shows us 4+, so this is something that cannot communicate properly and it doesn't show it right. The next part is CPU. Now CPU, this is running Allwinner H313 and 616, which is now about 2 to 3 years old, but it still works perfectly, and it is quad-core processor running A53, which is running on 1512 megahertz. So it is 1480 to 1512 maximum, and it goes to the maximum and comes back down. Now when we go to display, so the native resolution on this is 1080p, and it does give you a screen size. It shows it right over there and right over here, and then you can see the dimension also shows up. Now when you look on the GPU itself, it is Mali G31, which is a single core processor running on 60 hertz, and you can see it's landscape mode, and the OpenGL is 3.2. That means if you want to play certain games, it will run smoothly. Now for the network, I have to mention that 5G network is supported. It's written right over here. So that's why it's really good box to play with. And I will show you how good that is when we go to speed test. Now this is running OS 10. The API level is 29, and the terminal has been totally taken out, so you do not know exactly what type of temperature it will get, but I can tell you the box is not hot whatsoever. And the codecs, here you go. So codecs, you can see there's a lot of different codecs loaded to this, and this way all of you guys are always asking if there's a codecs that will be not going to work with this. Something like AV1 is not part of it, but the rest that you really need is part of it. So it will work perfectly for you when you are playing with something like live TV and more. This will work perfectly. Let's go to and play certain videos. So we always going to start with our 1080p video. Yes, it plays it really nicely. I can bring up the volume and you can hear it that it is really good. And now it's, for some reason, it's very loud, so I'm just going to bring it down and it automatically just mutes it for me, which is really good. But this is how it really is, and there's no pause to it. This is our 4K, but just regular from a phone. You can see the map is really big, so there's a lot of little things into this, all the leaves and all the water, the way that particles goes. And you can see that if there's any kind of pause that happens is live, so that way you know that there's going to be something happening. You can see the birds flying from the left side, and there's more contents that is going through. And if I have to bring up the sound, it has sound, so that means is 4K on this works perfectly. So when you're streaming or anything that comes up will be perfectly working with this. This video is 10-bit 4K. So it plays it really nicely. It's just a little pause when it starts, but it works perfect, and I don't see any type of pause, and the sound is in sync with the actual video perfectly. So there's no problem playing 10-bit videos with this box. Now we go into the part that everybody waits for, is going to be the speed test. Now I've already processed it 4 times, and I am just going to try to select, so this way we can play with it. So the first time that I tried was with LAN connection, and this one that I'm playing with is going to be my Wi-Fi, and you can see that it looks really cool. I had roughly about, let's just go back up a little bit. So my download was 336, and it started going up, you can see that. And then my upload changed to 47.5. My idle time, or we call it ping, was about 20, which is really good. Now when I went again with the Wi-Fi, the next time I got 301. It came down a little bit, but you can see that the line is right straight. And then my upload rate was 46.1, which is really good. My idle time was about 18, which came down a little bit, which is really good. Now when I connected my LAN connection, remember this box have a gigabit LAN connection. I got 340, which is almost the same as the Wi-Fi, so that's going to tell you something that they are doing their job when it comes to connection. I got 340 from download, and you can see the line is right straight. And for my upload, it was 44.2, and my idle time was low as 17. When I did it last time, I got 333, and you can see the arc going up to almost 400, then drops down because of so many connections, but it stayed steady, and my upload went up a little bit to 49.2, and my idle time stayed the same as 17. And that's it for the speed test part of it. So just to let you guys know, they did work it perfectly at everything mishmashed really good. When it comes to connection, there's no kind of pause when I was playing my videos on the server or coming from another device, or even when I tried a Miracast, it was all nice and smooth. So they have done their work perfectly on this box, but I gotta let you know that certain things does not work, and I hope that these guys are going to watch it and they're going to fix this. Something like when you want to use a keyboard, the regular remote does not work, so you have to connect a regular keyboard to it like a computer keyboard in order to type things, except that it works perfect. All the links will be available at the bottom of this video and also on our website. Except that I hope you guys like our video. If you do like it, click the like button, subscribe button on the top, comment on the bottom. Always remember to visit our own website, which is exitx.info. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and other social networking places, and thank you.